Guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. How's it going, everybody? I know. I'm about 15 minutes late, but I made it. We're back. We're here. Let everybody roll on in. Hit the like button, y'all. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. We got a lot of cases coming up, a lot of information coming out. Let me say, shout out, first of all, to Emily Jane for gifting the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. Thank you. Terry Massey became a new member. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Emily Jane, thanks for being part of the crime crew and asking people to nicely, with your $20 super chat, hit the like, comment, share, subscribe, and become a Guilty of Crime member. Be sure to join the Ghost channel, especially today. Today, I put out this video, guys, and you know Jay from Guilty of Crime doesn't like to edit things. I do not like to edit things. I want you to see it all. So if you go over there, you're actually going to be able to see this video. Mexican beauty TikToker gunned down during live stream. Who had the motive to do this? And was it her friend that was involved? You guys decide when you see the video. You guys, it's over there on Ghost. It's actually the uncensored version. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe that her friend was innocent, and I do believe she knew what was happening right before it happened. She did get shot, and when you look at the expression, she looks down towards her chest area, and then one to the top of her head, you can see a bullet hole and the blood, and then again on her stomach. She was shot 4 times according to the autopsy. So we're going to get into this today. Thank you, Melissa Johnson, so much for being part of the Crime Crew family for 13 months. Also, Melissa got her Guilty of Crime hoodie and some other cool stuff with the Foxy Box. So thank you. Welcome again, Valeria Marquez from Guadalajara, Mexico. You guys, this is crazy. I'll put this up so you can see. I don't have a little collage of her. A case a day is a lot of work and time consuming. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. All of that. I have a whole list of TikToker crimes that were committed on lives and TikTok people that committed crimes. All right. So that being said, that's going to be added to our series of cases, a case a day. Remember House of Horrors that we did on Monday? We've got more House of Horrors and more TikTok crimes, one way and back. Either they're either the victim or they have a victim. All right. So I'm a little late. So Foxy just gifted a Guilty of Crime 420 membership. Thank you. And shout out to everybody that's been waiting in chat. Spurzan, good to see you. One Love Revolutionary, Krista, Allie Callie, Badass Tarot Last. Good to see you, my friend. There you go. The Viking, right? All right. Rachel Burton, good to see you. Everybody. What's up? I did, of course, because this is a TikTok case, TikTok influencer, of course, I have her TikTok to share with you after I get into all the details of this crazy episode, you guys. You got to know that, man, this is wild. This is wild when something happens while you're filming a live stream. Now, Rachel Burton probably asked the question that everybody else asked. Foxy or one of the mods, would you do me a favor and drop the link to Ghost? You can see it down there, but you can't copy it. So it's Guilty of Crime Ghost, or you can go to ghost.org, type in Guilty of Crime, sign for a free membership. Okay, so that being said, we're going to start getting into this, guys. She was very beautiful. That was one of the first things I noticed. You know what I feel like? I feel like jealousy was the motive in this case, and you guys are going to be a little bit pissed off after I present this case. I think everybody is going to be a little upset, so buckle in, get your drink, get your whatever you got, hashtag take your meds, and let's get to it. All right, very sad. Thank you for being here. Angels Among Us 214, good to see you. Everybody else, badass, says you've outdone yourself with the new amazing energy emit. Well, thank you. I'm having a wonderful day today. I'm kicking ass and taking names at everything I've done since I woke up. So there you go. Miss Gloria, good to see you. Emily Jane, I love you. Thank you so much. And I see you. I see Tiff. I have it, but it was connected to the document, so I couldn't use it. All right, so I will take a look at that. If it's emailed to me, I can use the email. All right, so let me just download that. I'll put it up because I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about the case before I just jump right into just watching me do something, because that's what I don't like. I tried to find information on a channel earlier, and I went on a channel that I will not name. It literally said breaking news, 3 missing children now not alive, breaking information. I went on there, guys, for 20 minutes in the middle of the episode, and there was not one piece of information about that case. I don't want to do that. All right, I am not frozen. I'm going to hit the play button while I do this. It's you, love.
Murder of a Mexican beauty influencer has sent shockwaves across the country.
Hoy andaba haciendo unas cosillas.
23-year-old Valeria Marquez shot to death during a TikTok live stream on Tuesday.
Ya viene.
Her followers watched her final moments live in this video.
Hola. Hey, Valeria. Sí.
In the minutes before, as she recorded from the beauty salon where she worked in Zapopan, central Mexico.
Pues que te lo quieren entregar a ti.
She mentioned.
Nope. Sorry about that.
Looks out of frame before saying they're coming, and a voice in the background asks for her by name.
Hey, Valeria. Sí.
Okay, so you see that off camera. They said, hey, Valeria. Hey, Valeria. And they walk in while she's filming. And guess what, guys? You're not going to see the rest of it in this video because it's nowhere. I had to get an MP4 version of this video. And so I got an MP4 and it's on Ghost. And guess what, guys? Ghost won't take my content down because I pay $63 a month to host the site. So they are not trying to take anything that I put down. It is very messed up. Yes. I got to complain a little bit. A lot of clickbait going around about all the cases. Like, I just want to find out what happened. Why do I have to watch 20 minutes of you talking about nothing? Come on. That's what I don't want to do here. It's a good show. It shows me what I don't want to do. All right. So this case, man, watch. She sees the person coming in for a delivery and she gets shot, guys. What's up, Misty Free Spirit? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
Marquez replies yes, then leans over to mute the sound on the live stream.
Bam.
Horrifically shot to death in moments after we will not show. But after a person appears to pick up her phone, their face briefly showing on the live stream before the video ends.
Yes, who is that, guys? I ask you, and I'm going to tell you right now, this case is not solved. This case is not solved. Who is that lady right there that grabs the camera and there was another case like this. When you go onto the Go site and see the MP4, I show you another case connected to this that may be similar circumstances. Absolutely, I believe that. And I believe this woman right here is connected to this case. I believe this is a jealousy motive. She was getting text messages before her life was taken. And I got to tell you, there were threatening messages coming from emails, coming from text message. Does that sound similar, you guys? Does that sound similar to you? It sounds similar to me because I get threatening emails and threatening text messages. It sounds very similar to what has happened to me behind the scenes. So I do got to tell you. Yeah, also a friend, but something about this is fishy. And the jealousy thing, yeah, that lady doesn't look shocked at all. Jealousy. The jealousy, one word.
The identity of this person and their relationship to the crime hasn't been publicly identified. It would be the last video from Marquez, a rising online star in Mexico with nearly 200,000 followers between Instagram and TikTok. Now Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, vowing justice. The prosecutor's office has not named a suspect, but said the killing is being investigated as a possible femicide, an intentional murder of a woman due to her gender.
You said you were horrified by this, but were you surprised?
I was horrified, and in one sense, I was not surprised.
Paulina Garcia del Moral is an assistant professor who studies gender violence in Mexico and Latin America.
It is quite common, even though it has been codified as a federal crime. The fact is that violence against women, including feminicide, is on the rise in Mexico.
There were 847 femicides reported last year by the government.
847, and there's almost an identical version of this with another TikToker in that same area. Now, Mrs. Lady J, I gotta tell you, I think awareness is definitely power for an individual. So I'm gonna give you the awareness, and everybody that watches this, it's a sad story, but it does show you that no friend is a real friend, especially on social media. Especially on platforms like this, like TikTok and all the other places. So many people turn their back on you, or they pretend they have your back and then they do something nefarious. Now, when you guys say that friend looks like a dude, you should say she looks like an ugly dude, all right? Because it's okay to look like a dude. Some people say that to me. They call me sir or mister. But I don't look like an ugly dude, at least, all right? Gotta make you guys laugh. Trigger warning here. Trigger warning, all right? Green-eyed monster. Yes, she looked like an ugly dude. Let's say that, all right? All right, let's keep going. Bingo. There's so much more, guys.
Of Mexico that accounts for nearly 1 out of every 4 homicides with female victims. Fighting femicide was a big part of Sheinbaum's recent presidential campaign in Mexico. And while the murder of Marquez is still being investigated, Garcia del Moral says femicide is a pervasive problem in Mexico that will take time to address.
She's beautiful.
There has to be change at the institutional level to recognize the institutional responsibility for creating conditions for women to be murdered with impunity. Maybe. And if that can change, then yes, I believe there could be change, but that's going to be really hard.
Marissa Parra joins us tonight from Miami. So, Marissa, if you talk to human rights groups, they'll point out that in places like Mexico, femicide happens because the punishments just aren't there for the men who are killing these women in cold blood. What more do we know about that?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because we know it varies state to state, and it's not just the punishment itself, Tom. We know that the punishment can vary anywhere between 50 to 60 years in places like Oaxaca, but then in a place like Michoacan, the punishment can be 20 to 50 years in prison. But that's just the punishment itself. Even the definition of femicide, what meets the criteria for femicide, varies state to state. But on top of that, the punishment does not find every person that is the perpetrator. There's various investigations that have to be done. They are very complex. Not every state has the resources to do that, Tom. And according to Amnesty International and organizations like that, 95% of femicide cases go unpunished, which, as we heard from the expert there, a big reason why this remains such a pervasive problem in this country of Mexico.
And you got to think about Mexico and how it is, especially in certain areas. I'm not talking about when you go to Mexico and you sit there with a drink and a little, umbrella on your drink. I'm talking about Mexico, where they work hard all day damn long. They don't have a lot, and men dominate, guys. Men dominate. And that lady, that woman, that 23-year-old woman was beautiful. There's another thing. It may have been jealousy from a man. It may have been jealousy from her friend that was dating a man. But this is not the only case, all right? This is not the only case. It's crazy. All right, let's keep going. This is just, I'm going to pull this down and I'll put your collage up, Tiff. Shout out to Tiff, one of my mods, and the merchandise queen. Yeah, it's machismo. Absolutely. All right. So there she is. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this that they didn't tell you. And then I'm going to go into her TikTok because I want to see that. All right. So they call her Mexican beauty influencer Valeria Marquez. All right. She was gunned down on May 14th, 2025. So some people that are in chat right now are saying, I remember this case. I don't remember this case at all, but that was not a long time ago, guys. We're in June 5th, 2025. This was May 14th, 2025. This just happened not too long ago. All right. This happened not too long ago, and it's not even close to being solved. There's no suspects. There's suspicions, but nobody's been arrested. All right. So, yeah, if you've seen the case, I'm glad at least you have a familiarity with it. So in this case, the reason you probably heard about it is because the online community that you're in, whether it's TikTok or Facebook, this has affected the local community. And there's another case like this. She was 23 years old, beauty influencer. That was her shop, fatally shot while conducting a live stream. You saw it, right? She was in her beauty salon in Zapopan. I'm not sure how to say that. Zapopan, a suburb of Guadalajara, Jalisco, guys. Now, the incident sparked intense scrutiny over the safety of social media personalities, and it raised questions about the targeted violence in the region already threatened by cartel-related activities, guys. According to initial investigations, the killing appeared to have a premeditated hit. All right. They knew what they were doing, with evidence suggesting that it was a for hire case, like an assassin rather than an opportunistic attack. All right. Now, the sequence of events unfolded Tuesday, May 14, 2025, when hours before the attack, two masked men arrived at the salon. They were masked men, guys. Witnesses reported that one of the men posed as a delivery driver and was accompanied by a second individual on a motorcycle. If a delivery driver and a motorcycle with masks in a cartel area comes, just know that it's probably going to be some kind of a hit. Now, the pair of men came bearing what they claimed as very expensive gifts, all right? It was intended for Marquez, but moments later, while broadcasting the live, Marquez's unease became apparent when she whispered on camera, "Maybe they're going to kill me." Within seconds of that admission, the assailant, whose identity remains unknown, yes, unknown, returned and fired multiple shots. So came in, came back. She got freaked out, got scared. They came back and shot her. All right. The gunfire struck her in the head and in the chest. It unfolded on a live stream. So whoever saw that live stream, then you saw it. All right. She had tens of thousands of followers. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Local authorities launched a full-scale investigation into this, and they classified, as you saw, as a femicide. All right. That was the motive. They said gender-related killing. Though they have not yet ruled other motives out, the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, expressed deep condolences to Marquez's family and confirmed the circumstances surrounding the attack. Now, early statements from their spokesperson suggested that the manner in which the suspect inquired about Marquez's presence and delivered the fatal shots points to a prearranged hit, which we all see that, right? They wanted to make sure she was there and she was streaming. All right, guys, what's up, everybody? Come on in, hit the like button. If you missed something, you're all good because we still got a whole episode for you. All right, so don't worry about that. We got a lot more to go. You know how we do here. It's like a deep dive. We're diving in and swimming in this. All right. Now the investigation as it continues, there are stark similarities with this and another TikTok influencer, which I'm not going to talk about right now. All right, so they're still looking for the person or persons, and they haven't identified anybody. I'm not sure why. All right, so while there's no trial date because they don't have any suspects. They said there's no suspects been confirmed, and they promised to continue their updates. I have a feeling they have an idea, but that's about all. That's about all they have. All right, so we're gonna take a look at our TikTok for a minute. I'll pull this down and let's look at our TikTok. We don't really look at TikToks too often. I don't even really know how to use TikTok very much. So let's see if we can do this right. Look at that. Take a look at her. They say tens of thousands, guys. She has more than tens of thousands. She has 1.2 million likes and 234,000 followers. All right. After that ugly dude picked up her phone, does anyone know if they found her phone, or did the ugly dude end the live and take her phone? She ended the live. She took her phone and ended the live. And I only know that because I saw it on the other video. All right. Good to see you, Lynn. Hi, Jay. You're doing quality work on this. Vermont loves you. Been with you for 12 months. Well, shout out to you, Lynn. Thank you so much for being here for 12 months. All right. All right. So let's take a look at her TikTok for a minute. I just want you to see what this woman, she's beautiful, by the way. You guys know that. This beautiful lady and talented influencer with her beauty salon and all she did. Let's take a look for a minute and just remember who she is and learn about the case a little bit. All right. So we've got a few things here. Here's the justice for her. I don't want the music, but let's just look at that real quick. You don't want me to get the music because it will take the stream down. Yeah, crazy sounds like a movie. It definitely does when you're watching something live and that happens, all right? So let me see. Let me make sure that every time I pull one up, you guys can see it. I just want you to see her a little bit, how she moves, all right, so it's always good to see someone. It's always good to document it. I don't think that music's going to be good, but isn't she gorgeous, guys? I wish I would have had a little more time to kind of dig through and see. I heard there were some videos that leading up to this case that she was feeling threatened, and you can see it. All right. So you guys talk about big, curvy. We all like them curves, right? We all like them curves. 234 or 236,000 like them curves. Now, if you come in right now and you ask, who is this? This is Mexican beauty TikToker that was gunned down, Valeria Marquez. All right. Karina says, I'm going to repost this until Jay sees it. Narcos don't give a shit who sees them. They don't wear masks. This was definitely someone else. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I don't go to Mexico, and when I have gone to Mexico, it's not on the side with the umbrellas, all right? And I don't speak Spanish, so they don't even take too kindly to me there, so I'll take your word for it. Good to see you, my friends. Everybody rolling in. I just wanted you to remember who this beautiful lady is and just see a little bit about her. Well, who doesn't like that picture, right? Who doesn't like that? This just happened, Marcy. You're grounded. You're grounded for rolling in late. This just happened May 14th, 2025. All right. May 14th, 2025. Not too long ago, my friend. Yeah. Right. Where are all the guys at? Tell me that's not a good picture right there. Even you ladies can appreciate that picture, right? All right. Yeah. It was 23 years old. I smell jealousy, guys. That's what I think. Right? I think her friend is probably going to be implicated at some point. The one that looks like an ugly dude. Yeah, that one. Okay. So let me see right here.
Maestros Joyeros me está ofreciendo trabajo. Entonces mañana voy a ir a hablar a ver de que me van a dar trabajo, cuándo me pueden pagar y así. ¿Cómo ven? ¿Será que yo encerrada en una oficina? No lo sé, tú dime.
All right. So who doesn't like to, I mean, we always want to see what our victim look like, how they talk, how they speak. I don't speak Spanish. So, if you do, kudos to you. All right. So she's got, I think she's got class. She's got style. And I think that ugly dude didn't like that. That ugly dude was jealous. I do think the ugly dude that I don't know her name will be implicated in this. And Mrs. Lady J, I appreciate you for saying she lawyered up. Witness came forward that she saw her shoot Valeria 4 times. And I think that's a key. I think we are getting closer to finding out what happened. And we're going to uncover this together. All right. And I'm glad you guys speak Spanish. I don't, but there you go. Beautiful, talented, young woman gone. All right. Spurzan says, La gente de Mexico son hombres, pero la ley no ayudan. Whatever I just said, that's what I said. All right. Good to see you, Rosie. And I know a lot of you guys speak Spanish. So I'm going to pull this down. I put all of this in my document or in my research today. If you look at my video information, I put all the links in there. So if you guys want to go check something out after this, go check it out. Check this out. I think this might be important to take a look at.
La vida es polvo. Puede esparcirse.
All right. This must be her funeral, right? I mean, let's take a look at it for a minute and then we'll continue. And Emily, I'm so glad I could make you laugh. I'm even making myself laugh. Yeah, see, I was trying, Mrs. Lady J. I did. I can read it. I just don't understand what I'm saying. All right. So there's her funeral. I'm sure that's her funeral. Beautiful. Talented, gone too soon. Space Cases, I'm familiar. So sad. Her friend set her up because she was jealous of her. And I'm going to have to agree with you on that one because after looking up this video, or I'm sorry, whoa, look at that. Look at the size of my face. All right, guys. Where's the guilty of crime crew translators? Everyone's on vacation today. All right, let's keep going, guys. So there you go. If you missed the beginning, don't worry, we're not even close to being done. All right. We just got started. So let me take a look here. May 25th, 2029. 2025. What am I saying? 2029. Let me show you one more of these videos so you can see, in case you walked in late. Let me show you this TikTok one and then we'll get down to it. This is the TikTok post. See if I got it. Make it bigger. TikTok never fills the screen properly either.
When a 23-year-old beauty influencer was shot dead on camera at her salon in Western Mexico. Valeria Marquez had thousands of followers on social media, where just moments before her death, she showed off a stuffed animal that was delivered to her.
Creepy,
then,
right?
in her final few seconds, she's seen looking into the distance right before she is shot dead. Jalisco state authorities said a man entered her salon and fired at her, and she had no vital signs when medics arrived. The suspects have yet to be identified, but the case is being investigated as a suspected femicide. A rampant problem in Mexico, a country that has seen staggering level of violence against women and
now they're calling it a femicide, which is against women, but not necessarily from a woman, which is interesting because we're going to learn more in this next episode. And the stuffed animal was the kiss of death, and it was creepy, in my opinion. Very, very creepy. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. All right, let's go. I'm so glad that they did this. And this is not why I did it. I did this case today. I covered it because my buddy that is a dual citizen here he's in Mexico and he's here. He's got a house in Mexico and all that. He gave me the video and said, "Hey Jay, take a look at this video." She got shot during a live stream. And so I saw the video of her getting shot. You can literally see where the bullet hole goes in and all that. And so I said, I gotta cover this case. All right. So Rosie, you could be our translator. Karina Friendzoy already spoke on Erica's behalf. Don't worry, we're getting into that right now, folks. All right, let's keep going. I think she she did know something was wrong. She was getting messages, and I would not doubt it if it was her own friend creating multiple email accounts and social media accounts and pretending like she was someone else. Now, here's the problem with that, guys. When you do that, it always catches up to you. It's not hard to find an IP address, and it's not hard to find the person that's behind the IP address and behind an email or behind a social media account. So I'm going to tell you that right now. If you plan on committing a crime and you think it's okay to create a fake email or a fake Facebook or a fake anything and then go stalk someone or do something, I'm going to tell you right now, Jay from Guilty of Crime says don't commit that crime under those pretenses because it's way too easy to find you. And I only know that because I've been dealing with that shit. And trust me, I thought it was harder. No, my friends, it's not. All right. Reese says, I hate seeing stuff like this. My daughter was a makeup tutorial page and I worry about her. And you should worry about everybody on social media, including yourselves, your children, me. I mean, I've been going through a bunch of this crap too. Everything is traceable, guys. I'll tell you that. All right, let's get into this even deeper.
Influencer live streaming with her thousands of followers on TikTok, in one moment looked away from her camera and into the eyes of her killer. Valeria Marquez was gunned down on film as she sat in her beauty salon in Jalisco, Mexico. And police are now hard at work trying to figure out who did this and why. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hair and makeup to thousands of followers on TikTok and Instagram is now being mourned in Zapopan, Mexico. Shot dead inside of a salon called Blossom Beauty Lounge. Now, some Mexican media outlets have claimed that Valeria Marquez herself had operated the salon. Others say she only worked there. That part remains unclear. But I'll tell you what is particularly chilling is that Valeria posted a selfie from inside the salon on Instagram on May 13th, showing off her outfit for the day.
All right. Now, remember, she was already being threatened. What you see on camera is not the same what you see behind the scenes, right? We come on here and we smile, we laugh, and we show, and most of the time it's genuine. But after we get off the camera or before we come on, there's always a lot of stuff going on. All right. And that's what she was already going to. There were already threats. Now, Krista says that was the best friend, maybe on the phone. Now, let me tell you real quick, that best friend, employee Erica, shut down the live stream, but Yasmin Escamilla, Erica's lawyer, Erica, the one that you saw, the ugly man in the case, the ugly man that hovered over the phone and shut it down, the ugly man's name is Erica, and Erica's lawyer has defended the innocence of the young stylist on different occasions. In addition, she pointed out that she's collaborating with authorities to clarify what happened and also asked to stop digital attacks against her. People are attacking the ugly man and saying, we know you're involved, etc. So she is also in attack. We don't condone that. So don't go attack this ugly man. Just pretend like you don't know that anything. All right, because there's targeted attacks threatening her life, multiple aggressions due to her alleged responsibility, her lawyer says. So she's lawyered up. All right. Now, for its part, the Jalisco prosecutor's office reported that there's already 3 main lines of investigation obtained. However, there's still no people arrested. And it's been reported that there's no one directly pointed out. So it's active, but they have some things that they're looking at. Okay.
That is the same outfit that
Jalisco,
she would later die in.
Mexico. It's in
Valeria,
Mexico.
it seems, often filmed live content for her followers, not necessarily doing anything exciting, but just, going about her day. And at one point in a video on that Tuesday.
Now, you don't have to be exciting when you're that pretty, apparently, right? 200 something thousand followers. And Jessie Weber says she wasn't doing anything exciting. Who needs to be exciting when you look like that, right? So anyway, just a little humor. Jalisco, Mexico, Guadalajara. We're talking about Mexico, but this made international news. It's all over CNN. It's all over NBC. It's all over Law and Crime, right? And this only happened May 14th, 2025. That's not too long ago, guys.
Valeria recounted a story. She said she had been away from the shop when somebody apparently stopped by asking for her, saying they had a package to give her. So when employees offered to hold on to the package for her, this person, according to her, declined, saying it was something very expensive, so they needed to give it to her in person, and they left. Now, Valeria says on the video that she wasn't going to wait around for the person to come back, and according to the AP, actually theorized at one point that maybe the person had been coming to kill her. And that leads us to approximately 6:30 p.m. that Tuesday, which is when local police say all this happened. Now, despite saying she was going to leave, Valeria is sitting on a live stream, holding a pink stuffed pig in her arms, happy, when someone off camera catches her eye. A spokesman for the Jalisco State Prosecutor's Office told the New York Times that two men apparently pulled up outside the salon on a motorbike, and one of them entered wearing a mask. Now, Valeria said in Spanish, "They're coming." Then a man said, "Hey, Valeria?" She responded, "Yes." And then for some reason, she reached over and muted the live stream, so you can't hear her or the person off camera anymore. But that is when the shooting happened.
Ya viene.
Now, I'm going to just pause it for a second. If you look at her, if you take the look at it, like, she looks scared right there. She doesn't look like she's gazing off because, she's trying to look pretty. And when you watch the entire video, she realizes, I don't think she even really feels it per se or knows what happened, but she starts reaching for her stomach area and her chest area. And she doesn't even realize as she's reaching for that, they shot her on the top of the head, and it just starts dripping down. Like, this is brutal to do that and plan it on a live stream. This is like a serious deal. It's like they really wanted everyone to know that they did that, right? The job's done. That's crazy. Rest in peace. Guys, say a prayer for Valeria Marquez that she gets the justice she deserves, okay?
Hola. Valeria? Sí.
Damn, she mutes it.
So we froze
Bam,
in the video,
bam,
but
bam.
live stream viewers actually watch this in real time as someone fired a gun at least twice, hitting Valeria in the chest and the head. It is an unbelievable situation. It is incredibly disturbing and chilling. I've never, ever seen anything like this before. And get this, just a few seconds after Valeria slumps over, motionless, someone's seen picking up the phone and turning off the live stream.
It's the ugly man, guys. It's the ugly man. I don't know. They haven't talked about any of that yet. I'd love to get a hold of the documentation. I do want to tell you, I don't want someone to roll over there and accidentally find the video because it is very triggering. But that's why if you're a member and you can get through there, again, trigger warning. If you're already a member and you don't like that stuff, do not go on that post and look. Okay, I don't want someone stumbling on it and then saying, "Jay, what are you putting out there? I can't sleep at night. I didn't sleep last night because I saw it." Don't. Just know that the stuff that's put up is probably going to be triggering, all right?
So far, that person hasn't been identified, but some online have theorized that the woman was an employee or client of the salon,
Right.
But others have pointed out that she seemed very calm for someone who just witnessed what is essentially a cold-blooded murder. It appears Valeria's TikTok page has been removed, but at the time of this recording, her Instagram is still active. And I talked about how she had a significant following. People magazine citing 149,000 Instagram followers for their TikTok, 114,000 followers. So there are a lot of people looking day in and day out at the life of Valeria. And many people have commented, have expressed their condolences on her photos online. And despite the live stream being taken down, the Jalisco State Prosecutor's Office confirmed to the New York Times that snippets of the video that have been spreading like wildfire online, they are authentic.
They
and
are.
Here's something that's very interesting. The spokesman also said that the gunman asked who it was, like he didn't know who Valeria was. The representative told the AP, with that you can deduce, without jumping to conclusions, that this was a person who was paid. It was obviously someone who came with a purpose. There have been multiple theories floating around social media right now about what might have led to Valeria's apparent assassination, including that a close friend may have been involved in plotting the murder, although we have no.
That's scary, you guys, to look in her eyes right there and think that she had that fear in her before it happened. It's horrible, Ava. Absolutely horrible. And I hope that I can report to you guys soon that we know something. All right. Now, Maggie says in another report published that there's a witness. What happened to checking out the working hours on the window? I don't know, but her friend, the one that looks like an ugly man, not just a man, let's not get that twisted. All right, we're not saying all men are ugly. We're saying she looks like an ugly man, and I believe that she's involved. All right, I don't know how investigations go down there or if anybody would want to go against some kind of cartel. All right, that's what I'm going to go with right now.
Confirmation of that or evidence to support that. But so far, the prosecutor's office hasn't commented on these theories at the time of this recording or what might have happened. By the way, actually right before this recording, we found out that another woman, 22-year-old model and also social media influencer, Maria Jose Estepinan, was shot and killed in Colombia when she apparently opened her door to a fake delivery person. So very similar to the allegations and what we're talking about here with Valeria days before. Apparently, there's surveillance footage showing the suspect in Maria's killing running away. Now, according to the New York Post, she had made a prior report for domestic abuse against an ex-partner. Don't know if that's related. Don't know if these cases are related. But my gosh, very strange that we have two women who are doing the same kind of things on social media being killed in very similar fashion. It is just eerily similar.
It really is, guys. I wonder if there's any connection. Maybe there's another beauty influencer that wanted to knock these people out, these women out of the way. That's a good place to look. And you can hire somebody pretty easily down there. If you know Spanish, going to Mexico, I guarantee you. All right. I don't know Spanish. So, and damn, the same look too. I know. I posted about that in the article. You guys should take a look at it. I did post a free article, and then I posted another one that if you're a member, you can look. So you can, there's two different ones, one that doesn't have the video, so you don't have to worry, and the one that does, right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
So to talk about the investigation so far, what's next for the legal process once police have their man or men or suspects, whoever these people are, I want to bring in a special guest. I'm joined right now by Germán Enriquez Cordova, a Tijuana, Mexico criminal lawyer who will give us a lot more insight than we know. Because there's one thing I might know about the law here in the States. I am not as familiar as the law in Mexico. Thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. And welcome to Sidebar.
Thank you, Jesse Weber. Thank you for your trust. And well, I'm here to respond all the questions that you have.
Well, fantastic. Thank you. So first of all, my first question is, what is just your reaction to this? I have to tell you, I've covered crimes all the time. I've never seen someone shot to death on a live stream.
Right?
I mean, this is something that is truly horrifying. And we watched the video. We didn't play it here. We only showed screenshots of it. It is so disturbing. What is just your reaction to seeing something like this?
Well, Jesse, yes, in Mexico, obviously, we see all the time serious offense like femicide, like murder. But yes, online, see online that femicide, it's obviously it's a surprise in Mexico for us, and obviously all the Mexican community, all the Mexican criminal defense attorney, we are surprised with that.
I wonder why they're calling it femicide, guys. Like, I mean, I they told us, but what makes them think that that case would be attributed to that? Indy Isham says, how old is this lovely young lady? How old was she? She was 23 years old. And this just happened May 14th, 2025. We're in June 5th, 2025, not too long ago. All right. What's happening is this beauty influencer that was on the screen prior was gunned down during her live stream. All right. And then this ugly man, hashtag her friend, picked up the phone and ran outside. We don't know. There's speculation. All right. Population 8.3 million. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's one of those videos that you don't want to see, but you can't not see it to feel like you've seen the case, right? That's how I feel anyway.
With that facts, and well, we hope that the prosecution and the justice arrives and determines soon who is the suspect and who is the defendant who commits this crime, right?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, this is another law and crime legal alert. If you
No, it's
received
not.
Depo-Provera birth control shots and were later
Definitely not fake.
against social media people,
In Mexico, it's increased. I don't know, maybe 1 year ago, violence for social or for influencers. We see an examples in Culiacan. Maybe you know about that. But yes, it's strange for us, for Mexico, to see the violence against the influencers. Yes, it's strange for us, and yes, I think, in my point of view, it's.
And thank you for giving us a little bit more background on this, Maggie. Absolutely. I'm trying to get that across to the audience that this was not something that just happened that day. And there's so many suspicious circumstances, like her other friend on the phone telling her, stay, you're going to get a really expensive gift. But were they part of it, or were they really just excited for her to be getting an expensive gift? There were other indications, though, in her emails, in her messages, in her DMs, where she felt threatened. So I wonder what else was going through her mind. All right, you say Abby Poodle says that looks like the girl with her on the beach standing next to her trying to style her hair. So a copycat who isn't close to being, possibly. She also worked at the shop as well. Ashton, good to see you, my friend.
That violence, it's increasing for the influencers, right?
when you look at Valeria's story, does it look like the killer or killers didn't know who she was because they asked, it seemed to be, is she there? And that kind of gives clues as to what might have happened here. Do you agree?
Right. So she's talking to the person that was bringing the gift in, and seconds later, they shoot her 4 times. I don't know how many were in the chest, but I did see one in the head. Now, Emily, thank you for confirming that that video does work on Ghost. You can't watch the video unless you have an upgraded membership. I'm not going to make that video public where you could just roll across it. So, Rachel, if you don't have an account, a higher account than a free membership, then you can't see it. But if you do, then you get the MP4 and you can play the MP4. It's not a link video, it's an actual video of an MP4. All right. I do wonder that too. Remember, this wasn't even a month ago, you guys. So I bet you everything has a meaning. Michelle Horick, that's a shocking video. Thank you. That means you saw it too. That means that you have a membership other than free. Now, Rachel, if you paid for the next version, then I'll talk to you after the show. All right. Someone had sent Starbucks Pink Drink and the Pink Pig while she was waiting on the salon, and they said they were coming back for Valeria. When will she be here? He asked, are you Valeria? Thank you. All right. The video is on Facebook. The full video, I hope, is not on Facebook, but if it is, let us know.
Agree?
Well, yes, it appears the shooters, it doesn't know the victim, but well, in this moment, we review the prosecution, media, and the press conference, and I think in this moment there's no suspect. In this case, in social media, we read about persons, but I think, in my point of view, is that the shooter it doesn't know the victim.
Did you think it was strange, the woman who seemingly picked up the phone right after the shooting? At first, you don't know who this person is, and I'm not entirely sure who this person was, but that was very, very strange, no?
Yes, yes, yes. The community in Mexico, the point of view for the community, it's strange that the person who takes the cell phone,
Yes.
it seems like
No.
take it easy. I don't know if that is the word. Wait, take it easy, take the phone, and well, that seems that maybe she knows something about that, right?
Right. Yeah, it's strange. I want to ask you about the legal system in Mexico. So, what does it take to arrest somebody? Here in the United States, we have probable cause to make an arrest. What does it take to arrest somebody? What kind of evidence do you need to make an arrest?
Yes, yes, Jesse. In Mexico, it's similar than the U.S.
All right, and we don't have anybody arrested yet. This just happened last month, so if you saw it or it's out there, I don't know if good for you or not. I wouldn't want to run across this just on regular social media. I would never just put it on regular social media, but great. If you saw it or you know where it is, go watch it. If you want to see the full version, I showed all the way up until when they are going to gun her down. That's enough to play on this platform, all right?
In Mexico, we need a probable cause to arrest someone. When the prosecution has evidence, obviously the femicide, the prosecution has evidence for the femicide, for the crime, for the offense. But the prosecution needs to go for more proofs for the suspect. And when the prosecution has this evidence, he's going to go with the judge to go for a warrant order. And when the prosecution get the warrant order, he can arrest the person who is the suspect in this case. But yes, it's similar than the US. We need that probable cause.
Probable cause, but it's a lot more corrupt. And Michelle, sometimes when chat's flying, it doesn't matter how many questions you put together or not, it's hard to get a response. All right. I do my best to answer you guys. If you super chat, I'm always going to be able to see it, but I answer you guys anyway. All right. So she's not transgender. Nobody's transgender. And I have no idea what those crowns mean whatsoever. All right. I have no idea. So there you go.
Who is it's necessary to go for the first appearance, to the preliminary hearing, right?
Mm-hmm. And we here in the United States, a criminal suspect, a criminal defendant has certain rights when they're arrested. You know, they have rights to due process. They have rights against improper searches and seizures. Is there a Mexican constitution? Do criminal defendants have rights to say, my rights were violated when this arrest happened? How does that work?
Yes. Actually, the Article 20 for the Constitution Mexico law established the rights for the defendant. He has a lot of human rights. He knows what he's arrested. He can try to nullify the evidence. How can I explain? If the evidence who is recollected for the prosecution is violent the human rights or the human process, that the criminal defense attorney for the defendant can try to eliminate that evidence for the defendant. But yes, it's similar the human rights for the defendant in Mexico than the US.
You had mentioned femicide. Is that an actual charge like murder, or is it a type of murder?
It's like a type of murder. Actually, around 20 years ago, it's not the femicide is not sized in Mexico. The representatives, the congressmen, and the congresswoman in Mexico reformed the law around 20 years or 15 years to incorporate the crime for femicide. And yes, the difference between the murder in first grade and the femicide is that the femicide, first of all, has several penalties, around 40 years to 70 years for.
That's interesting. I didn't even realize that that's they're going to charge you higher for putting in that category. I still wonder what information that they have to call this case that. Is it because there were two men that they told, or that the witness told that there were two men involved in it? I wonder what classifies it as that. All right. She was absolutely gorgeous. And if anybody knows the answer to this, I have no idea at all, guys. Please let me know in chat.
For jail. But when a person, first of all, needs to be a woman. In femicide, the victim needs to be a woman, obviously. Second one, if the suspect or if the guilty person killed the woman in a hidden place, or if the suspect or if the guilty person is family, maybe husband, or well, this is the points that different the femicide for the first degree murder.
So if it's a stranger, let's say it's a hitman, okay, it's an assassin, would this classify as murder, or could this be femicide? And if it is murder, what's the punishment for murder?
The punishment for murder
depends how much you pay in Mexico, right? I've heard some wild things about Mexico, and I gotta say, like I told you, one of my buddies, the one that gave me this video, says literally you just have to have a little bit of cash under the right circumstances, and you're never gonna get charged with anything. Jen's a Gypsy. I'm so glad to hear you've always been into true crime. Tell me if you were into true crime when you were also a teenager and below. I'm just curious. I'm getting a little bit of bashing about having Wyatt on the channel, which I'm not going to change because I've been watching true crime since before I was 16. So I'm just curious how many people watch true crime before they were 18. And if you have children that are in their teenage years, do you let them watch true crime, or do they watch it with you? You guys can chat about that while I'm continuing here.
It depends. Remember that this happened in the state of Jalisco. Guadalajara, Zapopan, it's part of that state of Jalisco. So in Mexico, similar to the US, we have penal codes in each state. Okay? So in Jalisco, the penalty for murder is for 30 years to 60 years for jail. And femicide, it's 40 years to 70 years for prison. In this case, it's going to be investigated, and I don't have doubt that it's going to be investigated and it's going to be sentenced if the person is found guilty for femicide, because there's a lot of main points that the crime is going to be charged by femicide. The person's surprised the victim with a shotgun, and it's going to be femicide. That I can guarantee that it's going to be that charge.
So if they're looking at 40 to 70 years in prison, do they get parole? Could they get released early?
Yes.
No, it's gonna be difficult because when the suspect is gonna be arrested, and if he's found guilty in a trial, he's going to be sentenced, well, for example, 50 years. And in Mexico, it cites the benefits of the law when a suspect, when the guilty person has the 50% or the 70% for the penalty accomplished, he can
50 to 70%. So it's a little bit, it's kind of similar here. We want to see someone be arrested. I love that they're breaking down what's going to happen, but give me some freaking suspects. And April Overshare, thank you for letting us know. You say same area of Kentucky as Charles Manson, been watching true crime or true crime junkie, reading books, probably shouldn't have like 8. I think we're all pretty similar on this channel. We've been watching true crime for a really long time. Maybe it's our generation. I don't know, but everybody watches that. And I thank you, Gina Girl, for saying leave Wyatt alone. He's absolutely welcome here. And you know what? When I see Wyatt here, I always boost him up. All right. He hangs out with us. He tells us he has anxieties and all this other stuff. Of course, I'm going to boost this young guy up. All right. Thank you. Thank you for validating that. I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one that was welcoming Wyatt, who's 16 and very well spoken. All right. What's up, written in the stars? How you doing? All right. Let's keep going. Bam.
Can go for the benefits for the law. But in this case, in femicide, the law is not prevent that. So my point of view is when the guilty person is going to be found guilty, he's going to be in jail, minimum 40 years and max 70 years for jail.
Does it take years for a case to go to trial? So if someone is arrested tomorrow, when could they go on trial in Mexico?
It's okay. In Mexico, the Constitution is not prevent exact timeline or a time that the defendant is gonna be on trial, but it's usual that in these cases, in popular cases or cases that the population is interested in, the trial is celebrating around 6 months. Around 6 months when the until or since the person is going to be arrested. Actually, the congressmen and the congresswomen in Mexico, it's trying to reform the law to prevent that the maximum time to celebrate the trial is going to be 4 months. But in this moment, it's not a time that we have to celebrate the trial. But for example, or in the practice law, the trial celebrates around 6 months in these cases.
In the United States, it could take years from an arrest to actually have a trial.
In Mexico too, but in not popular cases. In Mexico, it's so political, the criminal law and the criminal cases, it's so political. So
yeah, we know how political things go, right? What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Is Wyatt here? I think it's important for us to support each other. Thank you, Jay. You're absolutely right. It's also important for us to support the younger generation and let them know that, make them feel good about themselves and let them know how truly appreciated they are and smart, and make them feel good, right? That's what you should do with the younger generation. I believe that. Anyway, Barbie G says true crime buff since 14 to currently 64. Long time. Let me tell you a little bit about this while he's thinking. This guy, this statement. So 15 days after the taking of Valeria Marquez's life, a statement came to light. Someone was talking about that in chat. All right. A statement came to light from a woman who claims to have witnessed very closely how this media crime occurred and directly pointed at Erica, guys. She pointed at Erica, the lady that was in the shop, the ugly man. She said the employee of the beauty salon where the events took place as the material author of the armed attack against the influencer, businesswoman, and model. So is in the note. We tell you everything that this is about. She says, according to the statements, her name's Paola. Valeria Marquez's crime occurred just at the moment when the delivery driver arrived at the premises, who was just about to take out his backpack, a package that was for the influencer Valeria. All right. Now, as herself detailed during the live broadcast, she says the young man did not manage to take anything out because at this time the young model received at least did not manage to take anything out because at the time the young model received at least 3 bullets. And it was here that the woman issued her statement and didn't hesitate to point out Erica, the employee, as the perpetrator. All right. She's saying that she shot her 3 times, that it wasn't the person that brought the package. The person brought the package, hadn't brought anything out yet. And at that time, Valeria was already shot 3 times. She says, I approached and I was looking at the schedules there on a glass that they have in the entrance. Then the delivery man arrived and asked her if she was Valeria. Valeria said yes. She turned around. The delivery man was taking something out of his backpack that they were carrying, and the door was open a little bit. Erica was sitting right next to her, and she says, I think it was 1.5 meters. There was nobody else there but them two and the boy, and she was watching. She said at that moment, Erica took out the GUN and shot Valeria. She says that Erica shot Valeria 3 times in a row. There was a 4th bullet, but I didn't see that anymore. I was about to leave. The delivery man ran and she left too. That's what Paola says. That's kind of shocking, right?
When cases like this, like Valeria's case, it's happening, the prosecution and the judge, the court tries to celebrate the trial as soon as possible.
And I want to talk about the investigation too and what might be happening, but I wanted to also ask you, is it proof beyond a reasonable doubt to get a conviction? That's what we have here in the United States. Is it similar or the same in Mexico?
Yes, it's equal in Mexico. Actually, maybe you don't know that, but in Mexico, since 2008, reformed the law about the criminal process, and it's similar to the criminal process in Mexico. It's oral, similar than the U.S., but we don't have juri here in Mexico. Or when the prosecution can prove beyond reasonable doubt, the judge is gonna be. The judge needs to find guilty the person. Yes, it's equal in Mexico than the U.S.
And if there's an arrest, does that person make bail? Could they make bail in a case like this or no?
No. In Mexico,
he's on bail though.
The bail is not working like the U.S.
Right. He says bail in Mexico isn't working like that in the U.S. And I'll stop for a second. April, Dr. Bodden on HBO. I used to watch that, but I want you to remember Dr. Bodden was at the Corey Mitchell trial testifying on behalf of the Gregors. He testified on behalf of Christopher Greger, which I'm very unhappy about, right? Because anybody that is on Christopher Greger's side in the Corey Mitchell case, I'm not happy with. But Dr. Bodden should have already retired. So that being said, yes, I used to watch the autopsies of Dr. Bodden. Those are still on, by the way, and I still watch those. So yeah, he's like, nope, there's no bail, guys. Depends how much you pay. Just saying. Let's keep going.
In Mexico, when a person is arrested, the prosecution needs to prove in front of the judge that the person needs to stay in jail in the process because he's a danger in freedom. Obviously, in femicide, when the person is arrested, he's going to stay in jail. Obviously, for the victim, because maybe for the maximum penalty for femicide, 70 years. And obviously with all that proofs and with all that facts, that person who is arrested is going to stay in jail all the process. The bail in Mexico is not working in these cases.
So now let's talk about if there's going to be an arrest. So talk to us about what is happening.
All right, we're going to talk about that in a second. And Karina, I'm not sure if I even addressed this. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. This case is pretty new. I think that there will be some kind of justice, especially because it made international news and more people are looking at it. She was a influencer that had a lot of traction in the case. There's similar other circumstances. You've got the lady in the shop, the beauty shop, the ugly man, and then you got the lady outside. I do think that we will get some kind of justice in this case. All right. I hope so. Let's pray.
With the investigation, do investigators, do authorities, they look through surveillance video? Are they looking through Valeria's social media activity? Are they speaking to witnesses? What does an investigation typically look like in your country?
Yes, Jesse. Yes, first of all, when the police and investigators arrives to the crime scene, they need to recollect just the videos, the blood in that scene. And well, yes, the prosecution and investigators is gonna try to get the texts and information for the social media for the victim, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Messenger. Obviously, the prosecution, to get that information, first of all, need to go with the human rights judge, because that information is part for the privacy, for the victim, and the judge needs to give a permission for a prosecution to review that information. And yes, obviously, the prosecution and investigators is gonna interview witness to review what's happening. It's usual in Mexico that maybe the police has a suspect, or yes, has a suspect. But first of all, the police is interview as a witness, and then when the investigation advances, that witness is changed to suspect. It's usual in Mexico. But yes, that is the usual investigation that the police and the prosecution realize in these cases.
Do you think there's...
Now, somebody brought up, was she pregnant, or did someone think she was pregnant? I don't think that's the motive at all. They didn't even talk about that. I know that she was shot in the stomach area. I couldn't tell exactly, and I don't have the autopsy, but yeah, you can see clearly it was a body shot and then into the head. I'm not sure that meant anything. All right, now I have the video. I'd rather direct guys. It's on my Ghost channel. I don't want to direct people away from my platform, so thank you for letting us know. But let's keep it. Let's go to if you guys already signed up, go sign up, or if you sign up, go check it out. If you haven't, go sign up on guiltyofcrime.ghost for that. Let's not put people away from that. It's below, right? And tomorrow, before you guys, we're not done yet, but before you guys head out tomorrow, we are going to have call-ins, and it is about the Madeline Soto case. I have some big news about the case and other information surrounding the case. So please check that out tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. You're going to want to be here tomorrow, you guys. All right, let's keep going. Stay here for tonight. We're not done yet.
There's going to be an arrest in Valeria's case?
Yes, Jesse. I don't know who, but just because in Mexico, as I explained you before, it's so political. And the governor, the president, everyone is taking care for this case. And obviously, yes, it's going to be an arrest because
Damn, that's
in previous cases, when a case it's so political, when a case it's so violent, it's so influential, like this case, the prosecution is arrest someone. I hope that it's arresting the guilty guy, because obviously with that evidence and with that information, we can get a sentence on a trail. If the prosecution arrests the grand guy, we can have a non-guilty resolution for the judge, right?
Oh, well, we don't want.
And thank you guys that have already gone over there and signed up. If you don't have an account and you really need somewhere to go find it because you're jonesing to see the video, then go over to Facebook and go look it in. Go look on Facebook and put Mexican Beauty TikToker or Valeria Marquez, and you'll find it. All right. She absolutely has family. She does have family. We saw some of her funeral right at the very beginning. You can also go onto her TikTok and see that. It's so sad, guys. It was beautiful, but not what you want to see for a 23-year-old.
Want that. We want to make sure that the right person is ultimately apprehended for such a heinous, disturbing crime. I mean, how often do you see a crime committed actually on tape? It's pretty unbelievable and chilling, to say the least. Germán Enriquez Cordova, thank you so much for taking the time. Loved having you here on Sidebar, and really appreciate you watching the show as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Jesse.
And that is all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. That was a good episode. That was good. I'm glad they're covering this. They do need to take it down on Facebook. If it's just out there for the public, it really needs to be behind something. So a kid or somebody that is not tolerable to that stuff, that can't handle it, it's very triggering. All right. And yes, Written in the Stars, I had talked about that earlier. There's a whole case file for TikTokers and influencers that either committed a crime or crimes were committed against them. So as long as you guys are going to be around and keep coming to my episodes, we're going to have more about TikTokers, social media, and also the House of Horrors. So many more parents that do these things. I haven't seen her meet her demise, only when she turned off the audio. That's crazy. No worries. You're all good. All right. April says, I made an edit with Jay and Coach Bella Ball Bricker, but I don't want to offend anyone who doesn't get my sense of humor. We're all good, guys. We're all good. Well, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Justice for Valeria Marquez. All right. This happened in Mexico, near Jalisco, Mexico. So you also can go to my description. If you want to find links to anything, just go into the description. You can find it, do your own research, or go sign up for Ghost and check everything out there. There is a free version, and you can get the same information without seeing triggering things, all right? And absolutely, you know how many times I watched that damn Porky's video? I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Not so much anymore. I guess so, kind of. All right, Emily, Justice for Valeria Marquez. Absolutely. This is a new case, so stay tuned, because we're hoping that there is an arrest or arrests made in this case. Love you guys. Suzanne, Jennifer, Allie, Callie. I love how you pronounce words. I do my best, Allie. I do my best. All right, yeah, hit that like button on your way out. Nettie, thank you. Share this video with your friends. My grandma's family is in Guadalajara, Jalisco. Have a good night, guys, and thanks all the mods for being here. I will see you tomorrow. You are not going to want to miss tomorrow night's episode, all right? Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?